Hello, everyone. I'm Nicole Echeverria. I'm the digital marketing manager here at LND Technical Services, and I'm so lucky to have Tran Hong, who's on the Vietnam team as a proposal engineer. And I'm super excited, Chong, to ask you more questions about engineering and especially being at front-end engineering, because I know you probably have dealt with your own unique set of challenges compared to the rest of the team. So I would love to get into it and ask you what inspired you to pursue a career in engineering, especially in the energy sector?
First of all, I would like to thank you for your invitation to this interview. So I'm feel very honored to have this
Yeah.
opportunity to share with you. Yeah, probably about me and also like my thoughts and my opinions. Yeah. So
Pursue.
okay. So when I chose to pursue a career in engineering, so I would say because I love mathematics and physics. So I'm quite good at both of those subjects. So that's one of the reasons why I chose engineering and especially electrical engineering. The second thing is well, like a story I kept telling the people, but it also was true because that something happened to me in during my childhood. So when I was like how I can't remember exactly, probably like in secondary school. So I live with my grandmother.
Hmm.
So she lived with me and only another auntie, and so my uncles they live in the other house. Sometimes they just like come back, but not like very rarely. So sometimes like, she expected me to fix a lot of stuff in the house. Back then I remember like we have like the video player, like the video tape player.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a very long time ago. So I remember in Vietnam during that time, so the voltage was like 110 volt AC. So
Hmm.
after that, like they improved the electrical system. So I remember they upgraded 220 volt system at that time. So because
Hmm.
of that, so we wanted to replace like the video tab players
Hmm.
to match with like the new voltage system. So but
Hmm.
before that, when we use still the old one, so there will be on way like a device to convert the voltage. But I didn't know about that before. So actually, when we bought the new one with 220 voltage, so she asked me like to install it. And actually, I didn't know how to do it exactly. I just know that so when I was young, I just kind of like watch, observe, and just like read it, everything. So when I tried to do that, and I didn't understand about the voltage difference at that time too. So when I saw like a wire or like an excessive wire, so I
Hmm.
didn't know what to do with that when like it seemed to be good already, but why it's still there? So I wonder myself, and I did a very stupid thing that like I put like two floods of the wires into like the sockets, the power sockets. So it created the short circuit and it's like wrapped around my arm. So it's
Wow.
more very dangerous. So but my grandmother came very just in time. She saw that and she used like the bamboo stick to remove it immediately. From after that happened, so I was safe. But by her, but it was like a very like how to say. I'm not sure if like the bad memory, but I always remember it. And somehow like when I chose like a major to pursue for university,
Hmm.
so I also love drawing. So I also chose like architecture is one of them. But after that, I was thinking that like I love math and physics a lot, and because
Hmm.
of that accident, so probably I should learn more about that, and I can have more knowledge. Yeah. So it's one my story.
Yeah, I love that. You never know what will spark that idea in your head in the future. You're like, that made me curious about something. Definitely going to pursue.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then I know everyone's role at L&D is so different. What does a typical day as a proposal engineer at L&D look like for you?
Yeah, that's a very not easy question because I'm working like hybrid.
Mm,
So yeah, so I live in Dallas City right now. So it's
mhm,
not in Ho Chi Minh City where like the Vietnamese team pays are in Ho Chi Minh City. So I'm working remotely most of the time, and every month or like one, so I need to travel to Saigon. So I can have like 1 week to warm up with the team and to work with the team to understand and to get well with the other team member.
mhm.
But if you say about my typical days here in LA, so because I'm working remotely, so it's more flexible. But with my typical day, I usually like get up quite early, around like 5 to 5:30 a.m.
Wow.
So I will like do some my personal routine. I would say that's like for myself because I want to get the energy before starting a work day. So I usually do things like 10 minutes meditation, some workouts. It depends on the day I want to do because I also have a little bit schedule for that. And after that, I'm making coffee and breakfast for myself. And then I'll have breakfast. Then after that, I'll start working. So if like someday I'll have the meetings, I will go to the meeting with the team for the project. Or like if not, I'm just working on the project. I'm in charge. Yeah. And but I also don't like to sit at the table like for the whole time. So sometimes I also rest by doing the other stuff, or I can help like my husband to take care of the farm, something like that. But I always try to make sure that like the work in R&D is prioritized, and after I finish my responsibility for that day, and also with the plan I already made, then I'll do my personal stuff. But in the afternoon, so I may try to make it finish a little bit early by 4 to 5 a.m. and I start like preparing dinner for the family. And after, yeah, because we usually have dinner quite early, like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. at the latest. Or if someday I want to go to the yoga, so I also can join the yoga class at 6:15, something like that. Uh, and after that, I go home and I may rest or I continue working or because like the US time also different from the Vietnamese time. So every week we still have like the weekly proposal meeting on Monday and Wednesday. So I also try to manage that time too. And you know that like with the project when we need to have the review meeting with the US team. So I also usually work in the evening time or sometimes even like at night time. Yeah. But to me, like, I always try to get work-life balance. So work-life balance doesn't mean that like I have to like divide 50 or 50, but I try to make sure that I always have the energy and have time to recover myself, and after that I can fully dedicate it to complete my work. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like L&D is a really great work environment that allows you that flexibility.
Yes. 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 I would say so. So I'm very grateful for that.
And then is there one project in particular that you remember that made you really excited that you worked on recently, like either in clean energy or in renewables? Like what is a project that stands out in your mind?
Okay. So I joined LND since mid-December last year. So
Mhm.
after a few months, so I don't really work on a lot of projects over that 6 months because like uh my manager he also asked me for help to improve some procedure of the team, like writing up the proposal handbook or
Mhm.
like improve some estimator tool or something like that. So right now I'm also working on some other plan like to create the proposals templates master file or something like that. And like she also want me to improve the proposal landing page. But apart from that, I'm still in charge of the project. But I think maybe because at this age I'm a little bit how to say, a little bit like demanding about what I could
Work on.
do, I could achieve, so at work. So even like with like some small project, I already did and I got the good results, but I still don't really feel like very satisfied about my achievement. So recently, I just have been in charge of like quite big projects. It can be more than 10 million US dollars, and that's a government project in New York State. So that's the preventive maintenance project with some 24 service, 24/7 service, emergency service, plus with like some uh, additional services too. But I'm quite excited to handle that project right now. So right now it's just in the phase of like I'm preparing the costing, but I'm quite like very hopeful and also look forward to the big results after I submit in July.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so I really feel that I'm really feeling that I'm working on that very seriously and also in the professional ways, in every response and try to make like the results um happen. That's the uh, I would say my first big project, and I think that now I'm also expected a lot on that. Expect a lot on the results. So I really want to make it really good.
Yeah, no, totally understand. Very dedicated to your work.
Yeah, yeah.
As a woman in a traditionally male-dominated field, is there any challenges that you faced in the early part of your career that were related to being a woman in engineering?
Mm, I would say it's not right now. It would be in the past when I just was graduated.
Mm.
So even in the university, I also think that like women in the engineering or like in like the industries is were very rare. So let's
Mhm.
say like my electrical engineering major. So we had like 400 students back then, but there was only 20, yeah,
Oh,
20 girls in that year, like my year. And when we graduated, I remember like there was only seven female students kind of like graduated at that year. So I was the top graduate of electrical engineering major at that time, so I was very proud of myself on what I already made a lot of efforts into try to prove myself. Even I was just a girl back then, and so I think after I graduated, I also realized that there was a lot of challenges for the women, especially like I think like especially with the manager who is like the male manager.
mhm,
I'm not sure, but I think they always think that like uh the male engineer may work much better than the female engineer, especially like they may dedicate themselves uh much better because they don't have a lot of responsibility like women. Because women we may be married and we have to take care of the family and the children. Another thing that I would say that I think the male manager when they look at the women they think the women like how to say well-being physically not
mhm,
as strong as the men. So
mm,
somehow like they think you can't work a lot for hours. Uh, so I didn't like that.
mhm. Yeah, frustrating.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And somehow I also think like men may think like men smarter than women. But I think both of us have like our own strengths and we have some strength even the men can't uh
Mhm,
do exactly like us or we also can't do exactly like what men do. So to me like we need the diversity and so we need to respect each other.
mhm,
I think I was experiencing something like that when I just joined the corporate Schneider Energy or Vietnam.
mhm,
Yeah, with the first manager, and I made a lot of effort to rule myself a lot, and uh, and especially with the technical things, I think like we so sometimes I think the female engineer didn't really do like the field service engineering. So we
Hmm.
didn't really have a lot of practical experience. But
Yeah.
I was working as like I think for my permanent job in State Energy at first, I was working as a technical support engineer.
Hmm.
So I took care of the call center for the technical support question only. So during the first 3 months, I was very nervous because when someone calls me, they always expected that like you like
Everybody.
yeah you had to know everything because you are the corporate brand and you are like the supplier, so you need to know all the solution or all the answer for that, especially when like any technician are from the field and you call them and you want the answer immediately because it could be emergency situation for them. So I was very stressful at that time because when
Hmm.
I heard the phone ringing, I just didn't know if I could answer. But after
Hmm.
3 months, I would say I was catching up everything and I was feeling more confident. And after like more than 9 years and a half in state energies, I was quite like confident and proud of myself because I feel like I made a lot of achievement there. And I also grew up there and also developed myself to be the team leader in state energy. And after that, I moved to Philippines and I became like a customer service manager. So to me, like I think like were not easy, but it was still exciting. And I'm feeling that like it's still the opportunity for women in engineering if we are still willing to commit, to be curious, and to be willing to take challenges. And then everything will be fine and even better. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really great advice. Speaking of that, is there any like particular advice you would give women who are studying electrical engineering right now and they're one of the few in a 400 class of men? Like, what advice would you give them to stay motivated in this field?
Okay, I think women, so as I said earlier, women and men, we have our own strength and abilities, right? So I believe women in engineering are bringing the fresh perspective. Because right now, I think like a lot of corporates, they even made the policy for no, like gender equality and the also like the opportunity created to bring the women to be more manager in that field. So I would say like there are a lot of opportunity for women in engineering right now, and I also think that women not just only bring the fresh perspective, but also innovative thinking and inclusive leadership to the power industry. Because as I said, that like when you are the leader, so as a man, you can be very tough, very decisive. But I still believe that the flexibility of the women and also even innovative thinking will have us to be somehow better leader. And especially like with R&D, we are the minority and women's own small businesses. So I still think like R&D environment is very good for women who really want to prove themselves in these industries. And I believe that the women contribution will help to provide the practice in these industries a lot, especially right now we focus a lot on like energy sustainability, right? And the renewable energy. So I think if like you are like choosing this career path, so
Hmm.
just keep being like curious, learning, like eager to learn and committed to all on the opportunity and challenges, then you will be more successful with the support of like a lot of like outside resources. I think so.
Yeah, great advice. And, and I know you mentioned before experiencing some leaders that already had stereotypes about
Mhm.
women and how they manage them. So, in your opinion, what is some advice for good leadership out there or people that just got promoted in a leadership role in engineering, what should they keep in mind to be the best leaders that they can?
I think when I was working in the past at some big corporates, I think I observed a lot from the leaders around me, even from my ex manager or the like indirect leaders, like the general directors or someone else, you know. So I always prefer the inspiring leadership. So when I was a manager, I also wanted to be an inspiring leader. Yeah,
Mm.
because to me, being an inspiring leader, you will have your team member to thrive and to develop their own career path personally, and also like help them to be more successful at their career in the company, in your team specifically. And actually, from that, it also have a lot on the company goals and also the team goals too. So I always love something like that. And I think with women, I would say you should empower. Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah, because like I think like when you empower them, they can be more confident and they would do their best to like becomes much more successful as you even more than as you expected from what they could do. Yeah. So I think empowering and inspiring are something very important in the leadership or yeah, as a leader.
And I know you mentioned before the reason why you got into engineering was your natural curiosity and your talent in math and physics. Are there any other traits that you think if someone's not as strong in math, but they have these other aspects, that they'll be a good fit for engineering? Do you think there's any other traits that you look for?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. uh, okay. I think even you not be very good at math or physics, or you are not like very logical thinking or systematic thinking. But I still think if again, it's all about your attitude. So I think if like you really are willing to learn and to keep being curious and to work in hard before working smart. So I still think you still can achieve what you want or even pursue this career. Because I remember I had a friend in the university. So it was something like uh I still remember it's like every day she always studies from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And yeah, but the thing that like she always was envious to me that like when we did the exam, even I didn't put a lot of time in that, but finally like my score was still higher than her. So that is something like she didn't like it at all. But it's just a thing that like she didn't like it when we didn't like become friends at that time. So we just know in the last. But after that, like somehow like occasionally we become friends and like the study in friends. So, you know, like it was very good at because he was very, I would say that he was very like hard study. So she read all the books. I'm kind of like a little bit lazy. So when she read all the books, every single time like we studied together. So she asked me a lot of questions from what she read in the book. And she didn't understand. So she asked me. And I also didn't understand at first. But I think like I was able to read the book again and also to capture all the knowledge we learned in the class. So so after that I found the answer and I answered to her. But I think it was very good like to do that because like we supported each other. Because I think I didn't feel very interested in like reading everything like that. But I still had my own chance to catch up and also to understand very quickly. So that's why like when we studied together like that, so we help each other a lot. And after like she graduated, I can tell that like she didn't have the career like you will say you need to develop to like the manager or something like that. But she still work in the very good engineering company and doing the design job, and she became like a specialist there, and she became like a very loyal employee, and they really like appreciated her and still keep her, and I think like her career is still very good at that. So what I mean that like you don't need to be very intelligent or very smart. So it's just all about like how your attitude is in what you are doing. And if like you are committed to what you are doing,
Hmm.
and then you will become very successful in the career. To me, being successful, it doesn't mean like you need to have the title or very high salary. As long as you feel happy and you love what you are doing and you are dedicated to that, so that's already good. Yeah,
Like natural talent is maybe 10 to 20% of it, but then 80 to 90% is how hard you're working and committed to achieving.
yeah. So my advice that like when I work in the university, some subject I didn't like it very much. But if I already set the goal that I want to get like 10 score or like now I score for that subject, so I force myself to love it. So because I think like when you love it, then you will are more passionate and you will make it happen anyway, you know. So that's what my way. So if someone asks me for the advice something about something like that, if you are not good at something and you are like not naturally like very talented in that, so what should you do? So that is how I used to solve it for myself. That's way. And I think that like it's just a willing. If you still want to do that, everything had the solution, and you still can make it.
Yeah. I agree. And then one of my last questions is I know L&D works a lot in like maintenance, testing, and a variety of things in the power industry, and we also focus on like renewables and clean energy. Is there any one particular trend in the energy industry that you see a lot more projects being focused on, either within L&D or in the industry as a whole? Like, is it more nuclear energy that's being a focus? Is it solar? Is it wind energy? Like, what are you seeing in the industry?
I would say is that is the renewable energy. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I think right now, apart from like energy sustainability, so I think like the science, I mean the engineering science, focus a lot on the renewable energy, because like it will have you don't like how to say, like you can reuse the energy waste, and from that you will protect the environment, and that also have like our planet more
Hmm.
sustainable. And when we have our planet, it also mean that like we have ourselves. Yeah. So I think the renewable energy is something like I think like R&D can like try to deeply investing in more like the projects in the future. But to prepare for that, I still think like the whole team need to prepare ourselves, and also like accordingly we also need to recruit some marketing talents to work on that and to make the R&D like much more successful in the future.
Okay, amazing. That was all the questions I had for you today. Thank you again so much for your time. And I love speaking to engineers and just really finding out like how you got into this career path, and it's so fascinating. And thank you again so much. And for everyone watching, we'll be back in the next few weeks with the next engineer on the L&D team. Stay tuned. And thank you again so much, Chung. It was a pleasure talking with you today.
Thank you, Nicole, very much to give me the opportunity to share with the people about my story.